Sup guys, this is The Last Supper. Today, on the eve of the end of 2025, I want to share my top 5 in-game tips that can significantly improve your performance, your overall gameplay, and maybe even help you reach higher ranks in 2026. Right away, I want to clarify that these tips are mainly aimed at new and less experienced players who want to improve individually. For high-ranked and very experienced players, many of these points might already be familiar, but even then, this video can still be useful. This video can be considered educational, but all the advice here is based purely on my personal experience from 7 years of active gameplay. I'm not claiming to be a pro player. Whether you follow these tips or not is entirely your decision. That said, I do have thousands of matches behind me. My main goal is simple: to make our community better by explaining different aspects of the game. The video will cover 5 key topics that I personally consider the most important: the positioning of the crosshair, strafes, counter-strafes, utility usage, teamplay, consistency, and rest. Before we begin, I want to thank you all for the huge support on my previous video. I truly appreciate it. More is coming. If you're really interested in it and want more content to come, please subscribe on my channel and press the like button. I would really appreciate it. Together, we are stronger. I've also recently launched my own Discord server, where we can communicate regularly, participate in giveaways, and stay up to date with news. The link is in the description. I'll be glad to see you there. Now let's move on to the first tip. Learn how to position your crosshair properly. Many of you might think there's nothing to learn here. The task seems obvious: aim at enemies and shoot them. And while that's technically true, this topic can be explored much deeper. In reality, crosshair placement is a core part of an experienced player's individual skill set, but it's something everyone should learn. So what do I mean by proper crosshair placement? It's about positioning your crosshair in a way that gives you the highest chance of winning a duel, which in most cases means keeping your crosshair at head level. It should be common knowledge that the highest damage in the game is dealt to the head. Some weapons can even kill with a single headshot. That's exactly why this is so important. Because of that, in most situations, you should try to aim and shoot at head level, more precisely at the lower part of the head, depending on the weapon's recoil. This alone can give you a massive advantage in duels. Of course, it takes time to get used to this habit. You'll need simple but consistent practice. The main nuance is that different maps have different elevations and verticality. Enemies can be positioned higher or lower than you, which makes crosshair placement a complex and dynamic skill. Depending on the plane your opponent is on, you need to instantly adjust your crosshair to the correct height. But trust me, this will significantly improve your overall aim and allow you to eliminate enemies much faster. That said, there are situations where aiming for the head isn't necessary. For example, if you already have information that your opponent is very low HP, you can safely aim for the body. You'll still kill them in 1 or 2 shots, and the torso is a much larger hitbox, making it easier to hit. However, in most cases, especially in long-range fights, proper crosshair placement gives you a potentially winning duel, since it allows you to kill your opponent almost instantly. Now that we've covered crosshair placement, let's move on to the second tip, which is directly connected to it. Strafe while peeking positions, use counter-strafes. Strafing is essentially a sharp movement of your joystick either to the left or to the right. With this movement, you can perform quick peeks and check angles effectively. These simple movements allow you to clear corners and common spots on the map in a fast and controlled way. As a result, your overall movement understanding improves, and your peeks become much harder to predict for your opponents. Instead of running around the whole map and checking positions randomly, you make clean strafe peeks that allow you to stay mobile while still playing carefully. But why is this so important? And how is it connected to crosshair placement? Crosshair placement usually happens during these exact strafes. When you peek, your crosshair should already be positioned at your opponent's head level, which allows you to clear angles perfectly. Compared to slow shift-walking peeks, strafing makes your character much more dynamic and unpredictable, and that alone already gives you an advantage. Combined with proper crosshair placement, it allows you to eliminate opponents instantly based on pure reaction. But that's not all. In Standoff 2, counter-strafing also works. A counter-strafe is essentially a strafe in the opposite direction. Here's how it works and why it matters. While strafing, your character has increased recoil because strafing is basically a short burst of running. To maximize your accuracy, right after the strafe, you should briefly stop your movement and make a small input in the opposite direction. This sharply reduces recoil by instantly stopping your character. That's exactly what counter-strafing is, a quick opposite step that acts as an instant brake, allowing you to shoot with much higher accuracy. All of this needs to be practiced together. In addition to recoil control in most situations, I also recommend crouching while shooting, as it further reduces recoil. This might require playing with 3 fingers or more, but it's absolutely worth it. Now we're moving to the third tip, which isn't less important than previous ones. Use utility and use it properly. Back when I played on lower ranks, and even now, I constantly notice the same issue. Players either don't use grenades at all or use them incorrectly. Most likely this happens because people think utility doesn't make a big difference and that you can easily win without it. But in reality, grenades can decide entire rounds. You just need to use them correctly. I won't go into very specific situations here because that would take a huge amount of time. This topic alone could easily be a separate full-length video. I'll leave a link in the description to a utility guide from the Standoff 2 live channel. Trust me, the lineups there are very useful. In short, an HE grenade can leave an unarmored enemy at 1 HP if it hits perfectly. A flashbang can blind multiple opponents, giving you free entry to a site and easy kills. A Molotov can completely block off certain areas on the map for your opponents. A smoke can be crucial for things like a ninja defuse. Every piece of utility has real value, and learning how to use it properly will drastically change your gameplay. And of course, don't throw Molotovs under your teammates' feet and don't throw random flashes that blind your own team. Use utility situationally and with intent. Now let's move on to the next tip. Don't play for yourself, play for the team. This is probably the most important tip if you want to win games consistently. Very often, players completely sell their teammates, play only for kills, farm exit frags, and fail to understand the importance of teamwork. This happens especially in solo queue, where every match turns into a free-for-all. Naturally, this rarely leads to good results. Ideally, you should find regular teammates and communicate via voice chat. Voice communication is the fastest and most effective way to exchange information during a match. By the way, you can also find teammates on my Discord server if you want. If you're a solo player, the bare minimum is not sacrificing your teammates. You can already be a reliable and valuable player simply by adapting to your team and the situation on the map. For example, go with your team to the same site instead of ego pushing another one, unless you're playing as a lurker. Small things matter. Even something as simple as trading a teammate or setting up a crossfire can allow 2 anchor players to stop a site take or at least get several kills. Or you and your teammate can double peek the same position in order to trade one of you both in worst case. Standoff 2, like many other games, is a team-based game. Playing together is far more important than topping the scoreboard. At the end of the day, being first on the scoreboard means nothing if you lose the match and your MMR. Respect your teammates and avoid toxic behavior. It only makes things worse. Hopefully, the upcoming profanity filter in the New Year update will also help improve the atmosphere. Focus on bringing value to the team, not just to yourself. That's the real key to winning. We're leading to the last 5th tip. Know the balance between consistency and rest. This topic is important for absolutely everyone. Some players believe that non-stop grinding will eventually lead to success. Others think that playing too much will only make things worse. So, where's the truth? Consistency is indeed important, but only to a limited extent. Playing regularly helps you stay in shape, learn more patterns, feel more confident in clutch situations, and improve your aim and crosshair placement. However, endless grinding is a direct path to burnout. According to multiple studies, prolonged gaming sessions lead to mental and cognitive fatigue. Many players, including professionals, experience burnout, tilt, and performance drops. Reaction time can decrease by 15 to 25% after 6 to 8 hours of continuous play. If you want to see a proof of everything I'm saying right now, you can find it in description. This explains why your stats and individual performance can decline during long sessions. That's why rest is just as important as consistency. Many experienced players will tell you the same. Take breaks. Let your eyes, brain, and hands recover. The optimal approach is playing for a few hours with short breaks in between. Don't play the game too long because maybe morally you are capable enough to play further. Physically not, though. Consistency matters, but knowing when to stop matters just as much. Play smart. Play with enjoyment, not obsession. In conclusion, I'd like to say that none of these tips will instantly turn you into the best player of all time. But if you truly understand them and apply them in practice, you'll definitely improve. I hope this video helps newer players better understand how many mechanics work, both individually and as a team. Let's make this community better. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.